Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort, meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today. The comfort of your favorite seat is now your comfy car selling command center, thanks to Carvana.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Your favorite seat's the best spot in the house. Make it even better by entering your license plate or VIN and getting a real offer in minutes.
There really is no place like home.
And speaking of home, Carvana will pick up your car from yours after you finalize your offer. Visit Carvana.com or download the app and sell your car from your comfy place.
Welcome to Alien Theorist Theorizing presents Space News. I'm Braden.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Andrew.
This is kind of our pilot episode. This is going to be, a little thing we're going to try to do where we mix a couple things we've been doing into one show that allows you to watch it on YouTube, listen to the podcast. So we'll see how it goes. We've got some awesome space news this week. Obviously, the big news has been, the James Webb Telescope, and we have the James Webb Telescope being launched over Christmas. Now, there's been some benefits to this. If you want to read any of the articles, you can go to sciencealert.com. Basically, they've had to do some corrective actions to get this thing out to orbit, and both of their expected corrections have used less fuel than they previously thought. So right now, the James Webb is beginning to unfold its sun shield. It's a couple-day process. These things are huge, and this will block out the sun. So it'll have one hot side, one cold side.
So this is all a plan to block out. This is a Mr. Burns plan. They're all just out there to block out the sun, right?
Yeah.
And then NASA's gonna charge us to use the sun.
Are you sure it's not just Zell? Guy wants everybody as pale as him.
That makes sense. It checks out.
So NASA's actually also released this really cool website called it's called Where is Webb? Where in the world is James Webb Telescope? And as you can see there,
it's not like where in the world. I mean, it's like technically it's in outer space.
Yeah, we're in space.
Space.
We're in the universe.
It's kind of cool. It shows you, where it is, where its planning stages. So right now you can see we're still in the deployment of the sun shield. We're halfway through that. That's going to be completed as we're recording this. Probably as we're recording this. The secondary mirror is going to extend on the 10th till the 11th. Primary mirror, 12th, 14th. And then the mirror segments from the 15th to the 26th. This is the most, NASA scientists saying, this is the most complex satellite or telescope, basically operation they've ever done before. So the window for them to do this, they've given themselves lots of wiggle room because they're like, we're not sure if it's all going to work on time, if it's going to work perfectly, what's going to happen. So it's kind of just a wait and see approach. But as you can see, we got 30 days till the L2 insertion, and then it's operational. The one thing that I was surprised about that, it's really supposed to be, it's a 5-year program, the James Webb Telescope, because they're not sure how all these things are going to hold up in the conditions of space.
Well, we've never had anything out there before. So you never had anything out there outside of the low Earth orbit or Earth orbit longer than, there's satellites and things like, but a telescope's something completely different from some of these. So having something out there, it is a monumental achievement, and it's something that's super. We're gonna get some real cool stuff out of it.
And next up on space news is China accuses the U.S. of unsafe space conduct after a near miss with Elon Musk's Starlink. Was it them or Russia that just exploded a satellite and it caused shrapnel everywhere in space and sent the ISS into panic mode? Who was that? That might have been Russia. Before I unfairly blame China. Okay, well then, all right. I'm sure China hasn't done anything improper.
Ever.
Well, it's interesting because you're probably going to actually see a lot more of this kind of complaint and this kind of back and forth between countries as space just gets more crowded. As you have more manned installations in orbit, like you're going to see this. It's like having traffic jams.
Well, luckily we have Space Force to figure all this shit out, right?
Well, that's the problem, is that Starlink, which is like a subset of, what is it, like SpaceX or whatever, is a private company. And so China's main complaint, when they put it to the UN, they said that it's the International Space Treaty or something like that, which is it's penned by all of the countries that have, space programs. And essentially in that, it is the foundation of what is probably going to become space law at some point.
Oh, I love space law.
And you will, what they said is that every country, and I think it's a provision that's within there, is that every country is responsible for any company or private entity that launches space, like from their country, is the country's responsibility. So I think they're just kind of, I think it's kind of fair for me I think it's kind of fair to want to want accountability of these kinds of things, because it's, again, there's going to be some landmark cases, I'm sure, probably in our lifetime of space law. So. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely coming, because it does make sense for that to be kind of like a base, like, okay, well, if it launches from US, you are responsible. But at the same time, it's tough because it's like, you know what I mean? Like, they can't control what Elon Musk's doing as a private citizen. It's like, well, exactly. How do they take any responsibility over his satellites?
Right. But that's the thing. It's like, this is an interesting dialogue for sometime in the future that they're going to have. The government's going to have to be like, well, who rules space, essentially? Who sets the rules in space? Is it the countries or is it the private corporations? And so, we're
going to have space commandments.
We're going to have to, man, because we're going to have a bunch of Lex Luthors like Elon Musk trying to go to fucking space and causing shit. There's going to be nobody to hold him accountable. We don't have Superman.
Hopefully we have these commandments on an extra large Samsung Galaxy tablet.
I'm sure they're announced. I mean, it's probably gonna look something like the Georgia Guidestones, but they're gonna be giant Samsung tablets. So.
They're in space. They're floating, huge, around. So we can all see it from Earth.
They're all just giant.
It'd be cool to get like a scroll, or like the beginning of Star Wars, just in the middle of space, just scrolling.
It's just the obelisks. It's the obelisk from Space Odyssey, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Except instead of giant black obelisk, it's Samsung Galaxy tablets.
Yeah, I like it. Checks out. So that's pretty much all we had for space news this week. Normally we'd end here, but no, we got some hot UFO videos. We got UFO videos of the week. These are, our researchers have scoured MUFON for some up-to-date recent UFO videos. Now, I'm not saying these are the best videos. These are just videos that have been submitted to MUFON. This first video comes from Cross Plains, Texas, US of A. Without further ado,
Cross Plains, Texas, China?
No, US of A.
I might have gotten confused there for a second.
All right, let's throw this up on the big screen here. All right, so this one is from Cross Plains, Texas. This was submitted December 9th, 2021. And it was also seen on December 9th, 2021. The submitter said they saw lights that would get brighter, then go out, then appear again. Twice it split into two lights, stopped to record twice, but they didn't come back. But he caught it the third time. So as you see here, it's it's hard to see. It looks like a dusk. Just pulled over on the side of the road. It's hard to see what he's seeing here. I mean, the naked eye sees so much better.
Has it happened yet?
I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at here right now. So this guy's just panning back and forth on a.
I mean, he probably saw the phenomenon before and then stopped. Whatever the activity was going on, he probably saw it, stopped.
Got some dark clouds going on there. Some sort of bug just crawled across. All right. Well, listen, this one's looking like a bus. I'm gonna fast forward through it. Oh, that's definitely the moon.
Yeah,
looks like. All right, I'm not seeing what this guy's seeing. Oh, what was that? Okay. When did that pop up? Boom. Light pops up in the middle of the screen. Two lights. A second one just pops up. First one disappears. A third one. Oh, that's kind of weird, actually. And disappears. And then some flickers up ahead. Whoa. Another bright one just pops up. Kind of disappears. All right. This guy's got, you know what? Sorry there, Cross Plains, Texas. I was talking shit before. It's pretty interesting. I think that's it. Whatever it was disappears in the clouds.
I mean,
that's
clean the video up and you got a good one, buddy.
Yeah, you know what? Like cut some of this fluff. You've got 2 minutes of fluff here before this pops. But as soon as at 2 minutes and 13 seconds, I mean, you see these things popping up and it's weird. If I was just going to jump into like what I think this could possibly be, it kind of looks like a UFO, like stuttering, like traveling, like whoop, whoop, because it's in a perfect line, just teleporting kind of back and forth. Because it's like the second one dims, another one pops up further down the way until it just disappears. What are your guys' thoughts on this one here?
So, if you had the audio, we're not playing the audio right now, but if you have the audio on for the video, you can hear him commenting on the strangeness of the thing. But he marks what seems to be a military aircraft, kind of either following or flying in front of these objects that are thing. And you might think, wow, yeah, they sent a military aircraft to check out these lights. I would also be cautious to check the box on UFO until I had looked up Cross Plains, Texas, and what was going on that day, because that plane is flying out in front of those things, and those do look remarkably similar to flares. Because if you watch closely, you can see the plane flying out in front, and as these things they come out behind the plane, seem to at least. And their trajectory, it looks like something that the plane would have dropped, and they kind of go forward a little bit and they kind of arc down.
But why is is it, you know, there's a military base kind of by me, but I've never seen a military plane fly and shoot flares off, whether it be military exercise or not. I've never seen it. Is that something that's pretty standard in the States, that military planes will circle and just toss flares willy-nilly for fun?
Well, they're probably doing a training exercise. Right? You got to remember, Ben, we're talking from Canada. We have 3 planes.
Yeah, it's true.
Again, I'd have to look up Cross Plains, Texas on December 9th. And I that would probably be something if people want to dig into. Looking at that, maybe there was an event. Maybe there was something like that. They're just tossing out flares for some reason. But that's what they look like. They look like the objects do look like they're under the influence of gravity as they're just kind of falling down. To me, that's what they look like anyways. But
0 to gimbal.
For me, I put 0. I'm pretty sure those are flares.
I'm giving it 2. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting. I don't know. I guess I'd have to cross-reference if there's a bunch of air bases. You would think if this was a regular thing, people would see it more often, be able to recognize it.
Well, I don't know how regular it's a training exercise. If it was, right? Like, it's not like they're doing the same one every week, right? And the chances of this person coming across it every time, like, I don't know, is this a regular route that he goes on or something like that?
Right, maybe he's just never seen flares. Like, maybe he's just never seen them before.
I had no idea what the fuck that was either, so I don't blame him. If I would have saw that, I would have been tripping out too. my gimbal scale drastically fucking plummets when Dan goes before I do. So
Yeah.
give it a fucking.
Oh, you'd have to watch the video. It just looks similar to like what I've seen when planes drop flares. It's just there's an aircraft. It seems to be flying. You can actually hear the plane. Like you can hear the jet engine and him flying there. So yeah. So if you listen closely,
So flares is probably the most
probably flares, or it's aliens.
All right. Well, next up we have
Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort, meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today.
Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort, meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today.
Something submitted from Papillon, New England.
Papillon.
Papillon. That's a dog.
Mache?
Papillon, New England, US of A. This was sent in November 18th, 2021. That's when it was seen. Bright large object moving faster than an aircraft. Why don't we throw this in?
Are you sure it's not Nebraska?
NE?
That's Nebraska.
Dude, is it Nebraska? Nebraska.
Yeah. New England. New England's not a state.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's what does.
Listen, have we not established that I'm Canadian?
It would be like Massachusetts, wouldn't it?
Dude, one time there was one. I thought it was
Massachusetts, Vermont.
I thought GB was Green Bay, and it was a submission from Great Britain.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like,
yeah, right. Like, all right, we've established I don't know my states. Okay, let's bring this one in for a closer look. All right. Without further ado, the person said was hanging Christmas lights and observed this large bright light moving far too fast for an aircraft or a satellite or anything I've seen in my 23 years working around military aircraft. I guess he hangs Christmas lights on military aircrafts. He said he was recording it. It changed suddenly over Omaha while recording through his front yard tree. A motion not possible to known aircraft. So we see a bright light there and then a flashing light to the left. Now I'm guessing that's the.
We talked. I
wasn't sure.
There's one on top that was moving though, right? That one's not moving.
No, this one looks like it's moving slowly, but now I can't tell because it's too zoomed in. We have no reference point.
We have to use. You can kind of use the trees and the leaves there.
So it's moving.
Yeah, this one's interesting. Like as we go through it, like it does seem to pull some strange maneuvers. It's a little difficult to kind of, like you said, like for reference and stuff like that, because he keeps zooming in and out, and I'm not sure if the cameraman is. I'm not sure if the movement is a result, 100% a result of the craft itself or the moving of the camera, wherever the guy is, the positioning of the camera, but. Yeah, so like right there where it kind of pulls like a little U-turn, and it seems like it's slowly descending through the sky, or at least, it looks like it's going down. And see how it kind of moves back and forth. That like it's almost like a falling leaf kind of motion, like back and forth. But yeah, he zoomed way in, and now it's you lose your frame of reference a little bit. So.
We've talked about this many times on the show. If you think you see a UFO or you're about to see a UFO, two things we require from you from ATT. Thing one, fucking landscape, baby. Take like fucking vertical, man. It's just hard for me to put it in the screen here. I would like a nice big vertical one. You know what? But beggars can't be choosers. Secondly, if you're going to film it, you're going to be tempted to zoom way in to see this thing. Your phone's never going to zoom in and get a good quality photo of it.
It's never going to be. It's
never going to be.
No.
So keep it zoomed out a little bit so we can get some reference of the, some land framework, some trees or whatnot. But it's an interesting one. It's interesting to see it do those weird motions and stuff.
It's very erratic, eh? Doesn't seem like
when it gets closer down, when it gets into the branches and stuff and it moves around, those seem to. I'm not sure if it's I'm not sure if it's the branches or the craft itself. It seems to lend to it, like the erratic movements and stuff like that. But that's interesting in that part, at least.
At the beginning of the video, it looked like there was two, right? Like there was one above it that was kind of like buzzing around.
That might have been an aircraft. Like that might have been.
No, this one was working. Like it almost looked like a bug. The way it was like. It was more erratic, like, you know what I mean? Like a fly, how it just fucking randomly buzzes around without purpose.
To be honest, what I thought what that might be was just a light from the background, like causing a lens flare, which sometimes happens with cameras. Was that first light? That's why when the video first started, I was like, all right, which light is he thinking? Because if it's this one on the right, the top right one, I actually thought was just a light in the lens, which happens sometimes when you're filming. But it was, in fact, the object that was, right in the middle there.
I'd give this one a 2 on the gimbal scale, like for sure. Like it's something interesting. It doesn't seem to move like a traditional aircraft or anything like that. It has some strange sudden changes in its trajectories that can't really be explained, and not really sure what it is.
Yeah, I also, I'm going to go a little higher. We said it was out of 5, right? 5 being a gimbal?
5 being gimbal.
I'm going to give this one a 4. I'm not. It's not. Solid. It's not unequivocal evidence, but it's pretty good. Like pretty interesting video.
I mean, it follows a lot of the stuff you look for with like the high rate of speed and the erratic behavior and shit. And then like the tough time with this, it's like, what else could it be? Right? Yeah. Like it's just it's hard, especially when I'm not getting any like reasonable explanations from Dan. Everything just starts climbing.
Yeah, if Dan's not telling me it's not a UFO, then I'm like, well,
it's the little yodeler on the fucking Price is Right. When Dan doesn't give you something, it just slowly fucking climbs. I mean, I'll give it a 3.5.
This next video is from Elkhart, Indiana.
Is it IN?
IN?
Yeah.
Hey. First thing I'm going to say about this, bravo, landscape. Look at that. I love it. They said a ball of light was passing by them. This was July 4th, 2021, but it wasn't submitted till December to MUFON. Let's take a closer look at this one here. So we've got, what happened here? Okay, there we go. See a fast ball of light moving here. Again, fight that urge, people. Fight that urge to zoom in.
He zooms back out. He's the footage. He'll zoom back out in a second.
You're not going to get nothing.
No, I give this guy credit. He zooms in and then he realizes, he's not really going to be able to do anything. And he zooms back out to really see, kind of see what it is. It's just flying over the water there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's very interesting. You can see something hazy moving across there. It's hard to see. That's not hard to see though. I like at the start of this video, the audio, he goes, a lot of people are going to say this is some sort of gas.
Yeah.
To fucking fight that urge.
I'll tell him right now. I'll say right now, it's probably not gas.
Yeah. I agree with him. Like that one seems to be flickering as it's moving.
It looks like it's burning.
But it's too big for China lanterns.
Too big, bye. Too big.
And this one's just drifting out of sight. So I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna pause it right there. What's your guys' thoughts on this one?
You guys can go first.
Well, he said this. So this one, he said his description. He just said he was on a boat and he saw these things passing. He doesn't think they're airplanes. He didn't hear any sounds. That's what he says.
Sure. Yeah.
You get these two things, popping in, fading out, and then a second one on the same trajectory. My brain right away goes to like, okay, well, is there some sort of airport there? Because if they're flying in a row, that's pretty telltale of like an airport getting ready for a runway.
Yeah, there's not really anything remarkable about the movement.
No, that's the one thing. It's like it's a bright light, yes, but that could easily, I could say that as it's coming in from the screen, there's some cloud cover. It pops out of cloud cover for a bit, and then there's some other low cloud cover as it moves across, and it disappears. As for like him saying not, I don't know if he just couldn't hear sound because he was too far away, whatnot. But this one isn't that remarkable to me, and I would want to. My brain, when I see a couple in a row like this, wants to go. It's planes going for a landing pad. That's what I want to go. So I'm going to give this one a 1 out of gimbal. Andrew?
I mean, it's interesting. It's cool. I really like, for me, I'm a stooge for the movement. I like that because it's like, sometimes they can't, like, what else can make movements so erratic like the last one we watched, right? Whereas that could potentially be anything.
Yeah.
Right. It's just, it doesn't stand out. It doesn't have the wow factor for me, really. All it is looks like some type of reflection or a light that's going slowly across the sky in a straight line, like a purposeful looking movement. Like,
yep.
Yeah. I'd give it maybe a 1 on the gimbal scale personally.
I agree with Braden on the point that it seems that you have two objects traveling in the same direction and also seemingly at the same altitude. My mind goes right to at first it was like satellite. It could be satellite. Satellites usually travel in duos or pairs. Like you have them like going, they follow like in the same orbit. But those ones are usually like going kind of like from north to south or whatever. Like they go across the horizon, not like, or over the horizon, not like that way, horizontally, like parallel. So yeah, then I would be like, okay, maybe it's probably like Braden said, you might want to check for close airports where you have these airplanes just like their one wing is facing towards them. It does look like it's blinking. And so, I mean, it doesn't seem to have the blinking effect that a usual plane, like the kind of rhythmic that's something to kind of comment on, but that also could be a result of, we've talked about it before, that changes in air density and air pressure in the atmosphere, like up there where planes are flying, can often affect like that distance in air can affect what the light looks like. And so sometimes it'll dim, it'll look like it's random or it's like it's blinking or whatever, but it's just changes in the air as the light travels through it. So I'd probably be like, check for an airport first before I go 100% UFO. So I'm probably a 1. If there's no airports over there, then okay. Then yeah, sure. Maybe I'd pump up the numbers towards a gimbal.
Next up, we got a little bit of conspiracy news from last week. The big news story was Ghislaine Maxwell.
I think you pronounced that wrong.
Is it
Ghislaine?
Ghislaine Maxwell?
I think that's
either way. She's been found guilty. So on almost all counts, there was one she wasn't found guilty on. The big issue that people are taking, the two are, people are saying, well, who's going to be guarding that cell? And the second is there was a little bit of outrage of some of the evidence being sealed because, the public perception is that they want anyone who was in these books or named to be thoroughly investigated and brought to justice if that's the case. And it's, seemingly, if all the stories are to be believed, that they're just sealing this up and they're like, no, this evidence is now sealed. We're not taking any further looks at it. How this is going to bode for the likes of like Prince Andrew, because some of the testimony that she was found guilty on is also incriminating to Prince Andrew. So time will tell. What are you guys' thoughts on this one? I mean, it's been I was getting sick of those fucking Epstein memes, but this one's seemingly starting to wrap itself up here.
I am excited to see the response of Prince Andrew's legal team trying to provide evidence that he doesn't sweat. I'm excited to see that.
Like, God, man, he's got to have one PR team right now that's just like, God damn, a lot of L's in 2021 for Prince Andrew. Andrew, what were your thoughts on it?
I mean, I can't think of a form of punishment that would be enough for these people. I wish they'd bring back the torture rack or something like that. And I don't think she deserves to get fucking 3 hot meals and a roof over her head.
Yeah, no, I agree. it's nice to see her come to justice, but we'll see what that looks like and what her sentences are. And I wonder if there's any deals on the table for her to out other people. Like, we're gonna see that coming up. But that was, just wanted to briefly touch on that. More on that story as it unfolds. But right now, Ghislaine Maxwell found guilty on, I think it was on 4 or 5 counts. So she's looking at some hefty jail time. Last up, before we take off, if you're not on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ look us up, Alien Theorists Theorizing, join our private group, is meme of the week. This is a good one. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. Boom. We got Sask Zell.
Zell Nasty.
Zell Nasty, yeah. It just fits so well. I mean, look at those.
It's beautiful because it encompasses his fucking unimpressedness with us. You can see it. He's looking at us just being like, I'm sick of these guys' shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, God damn.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's exactly
what
it is.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You should have said LOL at the bottom.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for Space News. If you like this new format, we're going to be trying it. We're going to be polishing it. This was the pilot episode. It was fast and loose. So if you like us, let us know. You know where to find us on all socials. We got our TeePublic store. You can go to alientheorist.com to find out everything we do. Patreon.com/Alien Theorist podcast to support all the things we do. And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies. Peace.
Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort, meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today.
Man, that sunset is gorgeous.
Grill, patio, sunset. Hard to get better than that. Unless you're browsing Carvana's inventory while you soak it all in.
Oh, burger time.
So sit back, get comfortable. Carvana's got thousands of cars under $20,000 just waiting for you.
I could stay here forever.
Carvana, where car buying meets comfort, meets convenience. Download the app or visit Carvana.com today.